एंड रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी का भी जो सिलेबस है दैट सर विल शेयर विथ यू, फाइन. So, of course, some things are common in RM and P&S. So, इसका जो मॉड्यूल नंबर 1 है, इट इज़ मोर ऑफ theoretical based. मॉड्यूल नंबर 1 एंड मॉड्यूल नंबर 2. So, I'll just show you the syllabus so that you are well versed with the syllabus. Just my screen is. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to share the screen. Just so if you see the syllabus, बेसिकली जो मॉड्यूल नंबर 1 है, उसमें the theoretical aspects are there more in this module number 1. So we will be taking this module in PPTs only mostly. So probability theory and its importance, definitions, rule of order, causality, randomness. So today we will see conditional probability, total probability, Bayes theorems. Independent ये सारी चीज़ जो है, we will see this and some simple problems not pertaining to civil engineering but general problems we will discuss. And then the other lecture will see random variable and concept. आज हम 1.2 will cover. Yes, the other day we had completed this 1.1. Fine. So ये module में it is more of a theoretical based module. So है ना, we have to go by the you can say PPT और वही सब board में. Then other modules if you see distribution, sampling में थोड़ी theory है but it's fine. This is more of numerical application based ये है. कोरिलेशन एनालिसिस अगेन इज मोर ऑफ एप्लीकेशन न्यूमेरिकल्स इसमें है ज़्यादा. रिग्रेशन एनालिसिस में न्यूमेरिकल्स है. सिमुलेशन भी ऑल्सो देर आर न्यूमेरिकल्स एंड मॉडलिंग ऑल्सो इज मोर ऑफ एप्लीकेशन. So in this module number 1 and module number 3 some you can say there is more and this 2.1 में concept is so concept I'll also discuss in due course of time. So because look we have lost so many lectures ना, due to Saturday कुछ ना कुछ काम आ जाता है. So what we'll do instead of keeping an entire because one lecture if it is missed वो 3-4 घंटा पूरा waste हो जाता है. So rather than that we'll है ना, if it is comfortable to look Tuesdays I am free. Tuesdays मुझे कुछ load नहीं है. So if you all can है ना just 1 or 2 hours if you can spare on Tuesday we can have lectures on Tuesday. And evening time also I'm comfortable after 7:30 or so na. If you are ready we can take lectures in evening. So just let me know Tuesdays को क्या है आप लोगों का मतलब what commitments you have on Tuesday. Zakir,
Sir, I am free, sir, on Tuesday.
Tuesdays को we can take Tuesdays को any time because I'm totally free on that day. So no issue. If you want morning also I can take, evening time also it is fine for me. Irfan,
Sir, evening will be better on Tuesday.
can just be a little louder, I'm not able to hear you.
Sir, evening in the evening will be better on Tuesdays.
Okay. So okay, you can just decide a time amongst yourself. You just decide a
Yes,
time, then we can you can conduct.
yes, sir. We will let you know.
You just decide. Tuesdays I'm free. Otherwise we can take evening time after 7:30 any day. Preferably थोड़ा सा मुझे फ्राइडे को सैटरडे को थोड़ा ये रहेगा, लेकिन अदरवाइज आई कैन टेक एनी डेज एनी वीकडेज. एनीवे वी विल हाँ we'll come back to the course content. So this is more of an you can say application based subject. Unit test भी sir will I will discuss with sir how when to conduct the unit test. Most probably अक्टूबर में आपका जो schedule है ना, schedule के हिसाब से second week of October दिया है, but we will see it whether it's feasible or we need to push it a bit ahead depending on the syllabus covered no? So we'll see how much syllabus we can cover in the next week or so. Anyway, uh, so the other day we had discussed about the 1.1 हमने cover किया था, जिसमें we had discussed about the definitions of probability and then we had done a small exercise uh, where you all है ना gave some answers. ठीक है. So anyways, we'll start with conditional probability. So conditional probability, I'm sure most of you may be knowing what is conditional probability. So conditional probability क्या है? A probability in है ना, a probability of an event, supposing that an event another event has already been occurred. ठीक है. कंडीशनल प्रोबेबिलिटी अगर लेमैन्स लैंग्वेज में अगर हमको बोलना है, व्हाट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एन इवेंट टू ऑकर assuming that another event has already occurred. In very simple terms, na, suppose if A and B are two events in a sample space S, the probability that A will occur given that B has already occurred is known as conditional probability, right? And it is often denoted by this symbol, है ना. इसको अपन you cannot call it upon A upon B, because again it will have a different meaning, but you can just denote it by this symbol. This is the symbol of A on the condition that B has already occurred. So this conditional probability is that it has quite importance in probability theories, because है ना Bayes theorem and total probability theorem based on the this concept, conditional probability and independence. So generally conditional probability. Am I audible properly? Just let me know if my network,
Yes, sir.
if any issue is there with my sound, because my network is fluctuating today. So at any point, if you feel I am not audible, just let me know. Okay. Right. So conditional probability is computed as follows. Means if probability of A on the condition that B has occurred is given by A intersection B divided by B of probability of B. Means इसका probability B होना, how much is the probability of B, है ना, that is important. And then इसका intersection होगा diagrammatically. When we using the Venn diagram also I'll show you. So if B is not equal to 0, that means they are, if they are both are not null sets, then their probability will not be 0, है ना. null set नहीं है इसका मतलब क्या है, उसका इसके अंदर कुछ ना कुछ content है. Content है इसका मतलब if the B event has some content, that means the probability of B will not be 0. Probability cannot be negative. Probability will never be more than 1. ये दिमाग में रखो. This is all you can say a very important characteristic of probability, that it is never less than 0 and it is not more than 1. If it is 0 means what? There is no probability. If it is 1, that means it is a total probability. And anything in between, and if it is close to 0 means the probability is less. If it is more than or rather nearer to 1, that means it has greater probability to occur. So if neither of the two are 0, if the neither of the two have or if either of the two have some contents in it, some sort of probability is there of them occurring, then P on the condition P of A on the condition that B has occurred will be given by this. So we can just write it separately, because again assuming assuming they are independent, I'll again discuss the various clauses of independence and all. So this can be simply written as P of A, probability of A into probability of B. So ultimately this probability of B will cancel it out, so it is nothing but probability of A in general terms if they are independent. Similarly, probability of B under condition that B has occurred can be written. So thus in case of independence, the conditional probability of the event is not affected by the knowledge of the other event. So what is independence, that we'll discuss. In certain in simple words, conditional probability of A given that B is the area of A intersection B. यानी मतलब क्या है, conditional probability of A given B has occurred, that means what, इसका जो probability, if in simple Venn diagram if I need to explain, so अगर ये दो independent events है ना, and independent means they are not mutually exclusive but they are occurring on their own, है ना. You understand the difference between mutually exclusive and independent. इंडिपेंडेंट का मतलब ये नहीं है कि दे विल नॉट हैव एनीथिंग इन कॉमन, तो ये चीज़ दिमाग में रखो. तो इफ दे आर इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट्स, सो है ना, द थिंग्स विच आर कॉमन ना, तो प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ, because B has occurred, so B has some probability in the sample space, है ना. Suppose this sample space has 10 events, or rather 10 you can say 10 elements. So 10 elements में से 4 elements belong to B. So probability of B occurring will be what, 4 by 10. So this is already defined. So of course P of A on the condition that B has occurred will be lesser than 0.4, because this will be only a subset of the entire event. Fine. So B probability of A on the condition that B has already occurred will be what, P of A intersection B divided by probability of B. Fine. So I'll just give an example so that will be more clearer to you. So this is a very good case, है ना. एक normal layman's example है इसमें. For a specific married couple, the probability that a husband watches a particular show is 80%, and the probability that his wife watches the show is 65%. Now these are two independent events. The husband watching the show is independent. The wife watching the show is independent. The probability that both watch the show together is 60%. Fine. If the husband is watching the show, यानी आपको अभी condition दिया है, if the condition is given, है ना? Let me know if I'm going a bit fast, because are you comfortable with the speed, or should I reduce or should I go a bit slowly?
No, sir. Fine, fine.
Because these are general terms, na, and I don't want to use much time in these, because the civil engineering का जो applications part है, that will be more, you can say, we can discuss a bit more on that, we can spare more time on that. So that's why I'm going a bit fast. So if any point of time you have any reservations or queries, you can just stop me and you can ask, we'll discuss it at that moment of time. Fine. So these are two independent events. The husband watching the show is 80%, probability of wife watching the show is 65%. तो ये दो events है. What is the probability that they both watch the show, or rather the probability that both watch the show is 60% together? And what is the probability if the husband is watching the show, what is the probability that his wife is also watching the show? यानी एक क्या है, condition दे दिया है उसने. Condition क्या है? If the husband is watching the show, if the husband is watching show, then husband is already watching the show. This is the condition which is known, है ना? What is the probability that the wife is also watching the show? Can anybody try to attempt this? Just before we reveal the answer, just anybody can try to attempt what will be the answer based on whatever we have discussed above. दो independent event है, you can call any one event as A. Suppose you call this as A and this is B. Okay. So now A is already occurred. Husband is watching the show and A is already occurred. Okay. This is A intersection B. Fine. A intersection B will always, as I said, A intersection B will always be lesser than A and lesser than B, always, because it is a part. Either at most it can be equal to any of the two and a lesser of the two values, but it will never be more than two, because है ना, जब एक देख रहा है ना, when husband is watching, that there may be specific time when the wife will not be watching, and when the wife is watching, there may be specific time that the husband is not watching. Both watching together, it will be that है ना, उसमें ये इसका subset होगा ही, that wife is also watching it ना. Are you understanding my point? ठीक है. So this
Yes,
is a
sir.
very general example, just for understanding purpose. So you can attempt now. If the husband is watching the show, that means what? The probability, that means this probability which was 80%, that is already that event has occurred. है ना, the husband is watching the show. So 0.8 डिनोमिनेटर में आ जाएगा. फाइन. न्यूमिनेटर में क्या आएगा? What will be there in numerator? What is the probability that wife is also watching the show? A intersection भी आ जाएगा. Fine. In simple terms, this will not have any, है ना, probability of wife watching का कुछ इसमें significance नहीं रहेगा. Simply it will be what? Husband watching denominator में जाएगा उसका probability, and दोनों का combined probability, because it is A intersection B, it will be in the numerator. So if you want to just write it in, है ना, proper terms, let A, you can just define it, A be the event that wife watches the show, B be the event that husband watches the show. So if these are the probabilities, this is the, है ना, common जो probability है, that is 0.6. So simply probability of event A occurring given that B has already occurred is probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. You can relate many civil engineering examples to this, but again will not go too much into, you can say, because again it will utilize our time. So we'll just discuss the concepts and we'll move ahead. Fine. So of course the multiplication law, this holds good even for probability. So जैसा है ना, if A intersection, like if the condition is there, so P given P of given what is the probability of A given that B is already occurred, you can simply, if you want to find P intersection of B or any of the two is known, the third can be found out, है ना. अगर हमको condition भी पता है, हमको अगर ये find करना है, like suppose in the earlier example, the probability of husband watching the show is given, and husband rather the condition that both है ना, the wife will watch given that the husband is already watching, this is given. So you can easily find out कि both watching together का probability कितना. Are you understanding? Making sense?
Yes, sir.
This can be interrelated because the multiplication law holds good for this also. So only thing is that it should not be equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, entire thing will be, and if anything is 0, you cannot, है ना, everything, it will not work in that way. If this is 0, तो ये पूरा क्या हो जाएगा, पूरे terms का कुछ मतलब ही नहीं बनेगा फिर. Independent event is what? If the probability of event A is not changed by the existing of event B, we would say the events A and B are independent. Now many people, what mistakes they make is they get confused between independent and mutually exclusive, है ना. तो we should, है ना, these are very, you can say, बहुत सिंपल चीज़ है, बट थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजिंग कभी कभार हो जाता है बिकॉज वो वर्ड, है ना, we take it in that context. So mutually exclusive means what? They will have nothing in common. A intersection B will be 0. Independent means what? They can have something in common, but their occurrence will not be changed by the existing of other one. Like, है ना, if the probability of event is not changed by the existing of the event B, we would say that the events A and B are independent, है ना. Simply two events A and B are independent if probability of A given that B has occurred is probability of A. That means what? अपना जो अपना क्या denominator means what? Simply if you see that formula ना, conditional probability का formula, if you see, है ना, तो if they are independent, what, हम जब, है ना, we can easily write, if you can see this formula ना, you can see this formula. So this means what? We can easily write into P of A into P of B. That means what? P of B and P of B will be, they will cancel out each other. Fine. So in simple terms, probability of A given that the probability given that the event B has occurred is probability of A, or vice versa. So this is the multiplication law, and of course it can be extended there if there are a number of you can say independent events. So the multiplication law can also be used as a test to see if the two events are independent. So this can be used if you have the values, you can use the test to see if whether two events are independent or not. So this will hold good for that case also. Fine. उस case में P of A intersection B will P of A into P of B, है ना, and vice versa. So we'll just see this example, then it will be more clear. The probability a random selected male victim is 0.7515. So this is the probability which is given for a randomly selected male victim. So victim is somebody ना, देखो एक दो चीज होती है. One is what? Victim मतलब what? One is what? Victim मतलब जिसपे कुछ है ना, somebody who has been targeted, है ना, somebody who is affected, that is the victim. So the probability of selected male victim, तो दो चीजें हैं इसमें. Male victim is 0.75 and selected male, the probability of randomly selected victim is male given that 18 years. तो age और gender दो चीजें इसमें. तो probability of a randomly selected male victim is 0.7515. That means what? The probability of selecting a male victim is what? 0.7515. And the probability of selecting victim given that, or rather selecting male victim given that they are less than 18 years old is 0.6751. So ये दो probabilities है. So simply if you say, since probability of male is what? 0.7515 and probability of male given that he is less than 18 years old is 0.6751. This means what? A condition दिया है. If the person is less than 18 years old, है ना, if the person is less than 18 years old, the probability that he will be male is 0.6715. ठीक है. And in general, without any age barrier, if we see, the probability of a victim being male is 0.7515. That means what? The probability of victim being female will be what? 1 minus 0.7515. इसी में probability of victim being female given that she is less than 18 years old will be what? 1 minus 0.765. This means what? Now these events, whether they are independent events or they are not independent events, we need to understand, because look, ये इसका सबसेट रहेगा, तो this we cannot segregate this. So these are not independent events, these are what? These are dependent events, because the events male and less than 18 years old are not independent, they are dependent on each other. In fact, knowing that the victim is less than 18 years old decreases the probability that the victim is male, है ना. जैसे हमको मालूम पड़ा कि the victim is 18 years old, that means what, the probability of the victim being female has now increased. Previously if we had just this knowledge कि the probability of selecting male victim is this है ना, तो we would know कि female victims will be 24.85. But when we know that the person is below 18-year-old, if he or she is a minor, so the probability of selecting a male victim is lesser as compared to the general probability when there is no age barrier. So these are not independent events, although you may feel they are independent events, but they are not independent events because again, they are, it is a subset of the males are the 18-year-old males are subset of the entire population of males. Fine. This will not become an independent event. Similarly, for independent events, we'll just see how the multiplication works. The probability that a randomly selected female age 60 years old will survive the year means she will go to 61 years की वो हो जाएगी is 99.16186. So this is some national viral statistic report of US. तो ये उनके कंट्री के लिए उन्होंने किया है, तो ये उस कंट्री का ये स्टैटिस्टिक्स है कि शी विल सर्वाइव है ना, 60 years old female will survive the year है ना. जनरली इंश्योरेंस वगैरह एजेंट्स एंड ऑल दे स्टडी. आई हैड आल्सो डिस्कस्ड इन आवर अर्लियर लेक्चर दैट इफ ना इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज वगैरह ना, इफ जनरली जो मैरिड वीमेन है या द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ वीमेन डाइंग 25 years की women है, they dying before 30 years of age is very less as compared to males, because males में accidents and all इसका है ना, the probability is more. So insurance companies and all, they है ना, if you see उनका प्रीमियम कम रहेगा फीमेल्स का, और they may have you can say rather I'll say males का प्रीमियम कम रहेगा, females का ज़्यादा रहेगा. They may have various other policies for females. So it requires a thorough study, because it will not just be based on just some random sampling है ना. तो sampling, when we'll do the sampling जब हम module देखेंगे, तो we'll discuss how the sampling should be done and how what parameters should be taken into consideration. So is this in this case, the probability that the randomly selected female age 60 years will survive is 99.16. So what is the probability that two randomly selected, now these two females are independent of each other है ना. ये पहली फीमेल सर्वाइव होगी, इसका 99 है, the other will survive, they are independent. So if I want to survive, if I want to find what is the probability that both of them will survive, that will be what, simply multiplication of है ना. This, if the female A will survive, this is a probability, female B का उतना ही probability है. So what will be the, you can say, joint probability will simply be what, multiplication of these two values. Making sense? अगर इसमें जितना नंबर जाएगा, इफ ऐसे प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ फोर फीमेल सर्वाइवर्स, यू जस्ट नीड टू मल्टीप्लाई. 50 बोलेंगे तो 50 से आपको सिर्फ मल्टीप्लाई करना है. इफ सपोज आई गिव यू अ टारगेट, इफ आई गिव यू कि देयर आर 1000 फीमेल्स इन अ पर्टिकुलर लोकेलिटी, व्हाट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट some will die, अगर मैंने आपको बताया, तो यू जस्ट नीड टू subtract that number from that also we have some cases we'll discuss. Okay, yeah, understood this, ये क्यों लिया हमने, why we have taken simple multiplication here, everybody has understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Anyway, what is the so simply if the number is increased, we just need to multiply. So this will be 0.919986816 raised to 4. Percent means what, simply percent means what, per 100. So that you need to understand. So at least probability means what, similarly if an example is there, the probability that the randomly selected female age 60 years old will survive the year is 99.186 according to the national viral statistics report. What is the probability that at least one of 500 randomly selected 60 year females will die during the course, यानी एक फीमेल मर जाएगी, इसका अगर probability, तो it is asked as a reverse way ना. तो all 500 will survive, उसका कितना है हमको फाइंड करना है ना. So what we'll do, one will die, that means what, we need to find that at least one will die, at least one of the females will die. So we'll find all survive. So all survive, simply what we need to do is 0.9186 into 500, that means what, all have survived. Fine, all have survived means this na. So all surviving is, the probability is this, and if 500 में से 500 females will survive, the probability is इट विल कम आउट है ना, इसका जो आप 0.9186 रेज टू 500 करोगे तो ऑल सर्वाइव का प्रोबेबिलिटी आएगा. एटलीस्ट वन विल नॉट सर्वाइव है ना, एटलीस्ट वन, इट मे बी 2, इट मे बी 3, इट मे बी 10, इट मे बी 500 है ना, वी डोंट नो. उसका प्रोबेबिलिटी, इसका कंबाइंड प्रोबेबिलिटी कैन सिंपली बी बिकॉज इट इज एटलीस्ट, इट इज नॉट एग्जैक्टली वन. सो एग्जैक्टली एंड व्हेन जब हम बाइनोमियल थ्योरम और वो सब करेंगे उसमें एग्जैक्टली एटलीस्ट वो सब कंसेप्ट्स है. तो यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट एटलीस्ट मींस एंड एग्जैक्टली मींस है ना, एट मोस्ट मींस. सो ये सारे कंसेप्ट्स हम बाइनोमियल थ्योरम में पढ़ेंगे है ना, उसमें जब हम न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व करेंगे. तो एटलीस्ट मींस व्हाट, एटलीस्ट वन, एटलीस्ट मींस 1 2 4 10 कितना भी हो सकता है. तो ऑल आर सर्वाइव्ड का इतना हो गया, any 1, any 2, any 3 or all 500 dying in that year, the probability will be just 1 minus this. ठीक है, have you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So similarly you have many general examples, day to day examples के इसमें तौर पे this cases are given. So blood group है, so O A B A B है ना, ये चार ब्लड ग्रुप्स जनरली हमारे पास होते हैं. अगेन इसमें पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर देयर, बट इन जनरल दिस कैटेगराइजेशन इज देयर. So males having this blood groups, females having. So ये classification is based on the gender, this classification is based on the type of blood. So likewise these blood groups are there. So है ना, what is the probability of male patient having a blood group A? ठीक है. So simply we just have the numbers. So what is the number of patients, that is अभी हमको male patients चाहिए, blood group A चाहिए. So blood group A is, this is the blood group, isn't it? So what is the patient probability of patient being male? So probability of patient being male is what? Simply 50 divided by 100, because number of males upon total number. So 50 divided by 100. If blood probability of blood group A is also asked, what will do? Condition that it is a male, if the condition is given, तो simply will take denominator में क्या लेंगे, 50 लेंगे ना. Making sense? If just we need to find male, that is fine. But if the probability that the patient is male or the person is male, what is the probability that the blood group is A? Simply what you need to do is probability of A divided by
Total number of male.
that's what, isn't it? तो 17 divided by 50 हो जाएगा. तो whatever is the probability, तो 0.7, rather 17 by 50 divided by 0.5 हो जाएगा. Fine.
Yes, sir.
So examples on conditional probability. So if the subject was selected and been found to be female, what is the probability that she has blood group O? So she is found to be female. So female है, what is the probability that she has blood group O? तो female का chances 50 है. So this has already been defined ना. So what is the probability? That will simply be 20 by 50. ठीक है. Condition has occurred ना, the condition has occurred. So we are going a step ahead. So rather than going by the formula ना, just by the numbers also you can estimate this. So condition has occurred, it is found that she is a female. So the probability that she has a blood group of O means total females 50 है, इसमें से blood group O is what? 50. Alternatively you can use the formula also as we have discussed. Formula क्या करेंगे, पहले 0.5 निकालेंगे इसका, because the probability is 0.5. So 0.5 will be denominator. So again blood group A में कितना है हमारे पास, rather blood group O में कितना है, 20 है. So 0.5 will be in denominator. So again है ना, total females कितना है, this probability will be found out. So this is again 0.4. So simply you can use in that manner also. So 20 divided by 100 करके फिर 0.5 से ये करो, या तो directly you can use. Fine. Likewise belonging to AB group. So simply what you need to do is A intersection. तो इसका जो भी है ना, these are all what? Intersection values. Male and A group. So male intersection O, male intersection A, male intersection AB, male intersection B. So simply if you want to find male and having the blood group AB, so this is the total are 100. So male and AB will be what? 5 upon 100. Intersection का जो concept है, that will be coming in handy here. So joint probability means what? Joint probability means both conditions should be satisfied. So probability of being male and having a blood type O. Okay. So being male and having a blood type O, so this will be what probability of पहले तो O का कितना है 0.4 है, मेल एंड O का कितना है, मेल का टोटल आर 50, males are from that this, so this is 0.4, the both the events are independent, so A rather probability of O intersection M means what, male and having the blood group O is probability of O into probability of M, so probability of O is 40 by 100, probability of M is 50 by 100 because 50 males are there. So simply you can use by the formula also you can find out. Alternatively what, simply what we can do, just if you have the numbers, you know this is the intersection, so from the intersection we can easily find out, because we know how many males are there and what is the total probability and all, that can be easily found out. So it is on you how you decide or how you want to estimate it, but formula based अगर आप करोगे तो of course जब theorems वगैरह हम पढ़ेंगे तो it will be very convenient for us to understand. The probability of being either blood type O or blood type A, so इसमें और आ गया, so or means union and means intersection, A or B, either or जब है that means what, it can be both. A and B means what, it is intersection. So what is that, either blood type O or blood type A, so blood type O plus blood type A, तो blood type O is what, but this has to be independent, अगर आप है ना, अगर आप this has to be independent, mutually blood type O and blood type A is mutually independent, but if you see blood type O and male, so they are not mutually independent because male patients may have blood type O. To understand this, so the mutually independent means what, blood type A and blood type O, say categorization among blood type will be the, you can say categorization between blood type will be the independent events, but joint probability, or rather I can say events which will be together means what, male having a blood group A, B or C or D, or rather A, B, AB or O. Fine. So probability of blood group A or blood group O can be given by simple addition and it is 0.5. In no case this will be above 1. It shouldn't be, it will never be. Fine. Really many examples are there. I'll just share this PPT with you. You can just go through it, because again if you go on discussing all examples it will take a lot of time. So again, independent events, as we have discussed, two events are said to be independent if the occurrence or non-occurrence of one does not affect the occurrence of another. Okay, so independent and exclusiveness, as I said, so entirely different concepts. Many people they err because they feel that exclusive means independent. ऐसा नहीं है. Independent events can have some things common, but exclusive means exclusive. So independence and exclusiveness of two events can be are two entirely different concepts. For exclusiveness, the condition is PA intersection B should be 0. There should be nothing in common. Independence, the condition is probability of A should be equal. Probability of A intersection B should be probability of A into probability of. Fine. This is making sense. Any questions you have up to now?
No, sir.
Fine. So similarly, exclusive means what? There will be nothing in common. Fine. So again, counting techniques and all these are there. So we'll not discuss too much about this. So general number of outcomes or total number of outcomes that will be defined by the events. So these all things are there. General, you can say, general events are there. So you all know how the permutations combinations are chosen. No? So simply, if we have a committee of 10 people, we need to choose from this committee a chairman and a vice chairman. How many ways this can be done? So let n1 be the number of ways the chairman can be selected. So 10 people are there. So 10 लोग हैं, उसमें से एक chairman select करने के 10 ways हो गए. Any of the 10 can be a chairman. Number of ways the vice chairman can be chosen is 9. Why? Because अभी 10 में से एक chairman बन गया. So now because these are independent events, the chairman and selecting a vice chairman, so the probability of selecting, or rather the number of ways in which they can be selected, the number of ways which they can be selected will be 10 into 9, because suppose the first person is selected the chairman, so उसमें है ना 10 ways can be there ना for selecting a chairman, so 10 ways हो गए. अब बाकी के जो 9 बचे उसमें भी अगेन वन कैन बी वाइस चेयरमैन और chairman. So likewise, so there are 90 ways, simply multiplication से हमको मालूम है, there are 90 ways through which the chairman and so there are 90 possible committee, यानी समझो there are 10 people ना, there are 10 people, so there can be 90 pairs, 90 different pairs of chairman and vice chairman. If you go on ना, suppose पहला pair will be 1 and 2, second pair will be 1 and 3, third will be 1 and 4, फिर 1 and 5, 1 and 6, ऐसा जब करते जाओगे, so again 90 ways in which 90 ways in which the committee can be formed. I will give you a very है ना rather an example ना, जैसे अभी अपना IPL है, IPL केस में do you know how many matches are there? There are 8 teams ना, this is a very you can say simple question है. There are 8 teams na IPL में. All of you, both of you are seeing IPL, or rather you have information about IPL or any sports event. If there are 8 teams na, so each team it has to play with each other. What is the number of matches? Each team has to play once with each other. What will be the number of matches will be there? Total matches कितना होगा? Are you getting my question?
64 सर.
कैसे होगा 64? देखो 8 टीम्स है बराबर.
हाँ हाँ
8 टीम्स है. They have to play once with each other. They cannot play with themselves ना.
हाँ 8
8
into
टीम्स
7
कितने लोगों कितने कितने टीम्स के साथ खेलेगी?
56 will be the answer ना.
A team can play how many matches? One team can play maximum how many matches? 8 teams are there. एक टीम की कितनी मैचेस होगी?
7.
7 मैच होगी, राइट? करेक्ट ना. दे कैन नॉट
7
प्ले विद
matches,
देमसेल्व्स ना.
correct.
7 मैचेस होगी बराबर. तो फर्स्ट टीम की 7 मैच होगी. सेकंड टीम की
B 7 match.
they will also play 7 matches, but when you have listed that those matches ना, if you go on listing the matches, उसमें से 7 में से एक मैच you already have listed बराबर. सपोज टीम A B C D E F G H तक है ना, 8 टीम्स आर देयर. सो A into B, A into C, A versus D, A versus ऐसा हमने लिस्ट किए. तो जब B का देखोगे तो B A into B हो गया ऑलरेडी ना. When B is playing with A, that means what? Already that match has been taken into consideration. तो next team का जब आप कैलकुलेशन करोगे तो you have to see the number of matches when you add on the matches ना. तो पहले टीम के मैचेस 7 हो गए, नेक्स्ट टीम के मैचेस विल बी 6 बिकॉज द 7th मैच इज ऑलरेडी बीन टेकन केयर विद द फर्स्ट टीम. बात समझ रहे हो? थर्ड टीम के मैच कितना होगा? थर्ड टीम का जब आप शेड्यूल आइटिनरी डिफाइन करो तो कितना होगा उनका?
5.
5 होगा. Likewise, if you go on adding to 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, so they come out to be 28 मैचेस बराबर. सो IPL में जनरली वो 2 राउंड होता है ना, तो 2 राउंड का कितना 56 मैचेस होता है. वो उसी तरह फिर वो 56 प्लस वो 2 प्ले ऑफ्स एंड ऑल वो है ना, वैसे 60 मैचेस होते हैं. फाइन मेकिंग इट इज नॉट 56 मतलब नॉट 7 into 8 ऐसा नहीं है वो. इट इज सिंपली व्हाट बिकॉज दे आर प्लेइंग 2 राउंड इसलिए वो 56 मैचेस होते हैं. यू विल फाइंड कि सर तो ऐसा बोल रहे हैं लेकिन 56 मैचेस होता है IPL में. तो इट इज बिकॉज दे आर प्लेइंग 2 मैचेस विथ ईच अदर. एक होम एंड अवे ऐसा उनका कंसेप्ट है. तो प्रोबेबिलिटी समझ में आया. नंबर ऑफ वेज विल बी व्हाट? 1 लेसर देन द बिकॉज द फर्स्ट मेथड इज ऑलरेडी बीन टेकन केयर ऑफ. फाइन. तो अगेन ये कार्ड्स का है. तो इफ इन ब्लैक जैक यू आर डेल्ट विद 2 कार्ड्स, व्हाट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी विल बी डेल्ट विद 21. तो इनका ये सारा कंसेप्ट. आई एम आल्सो नॉट आई आल्सो डोंट नो ऑल दीस कंसेप्ट्स बट स्टिल विल डिस्कस. तो 52 जो है 52 टोटल कार्ड्स है. तो टोटल वेज ऑफ सिलेक्टिंग इज 2652 है ना इतना, बिकॉज 52 वाला कार्ड है एंड 51 उसके अदर कार्ड्स है. तो 52 into 50 these are the ways of selecting. So 21 can occur when the first card is an ace and the second card is a face or a 10. तो ये सारा उसका कंसेप्ट है. तो है ना डिपेंडिंग. तो अगेन ये 4 कार्ड में से कोई एक. तो 16 ways are there. तो likewise, so this is the probability they have found out. Fine. Also, I am not too much into it, so I may not be the best person to answer this, but some way है ना. ये जो उनका कंसेप्ट वगैरह है. सेकेंड शुड बी अ फेस कार्ड और अ 10. तो फेस कार्ड मतलब ये जो है ना जे क्वीन किंग है ना, और ये जो जोकर या जोकर नहीं इसको क्या बोलते हैं, जो भी है गुलाम बोलते हैं हिंदी में, बट इन इंग्लिश आई एम नॉट श्योर व्हाट इट इज कॉल्ड. सो ये 4 में से एक होना. फर्स्ट शुड बी एन एस, सेकेंड शुड बी दिस. सो देर आर 16 वेज है ना टू सिलेक्ट दिस. सो अगेन 4 एसेस कैन बी देयर. लाइकवाइज 128 उसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी आ जाती है सारों की. सो ठीक है. So probability of 21 is this. So multiplication rule also holds good in this permutation and combinations you all know, n minus 1 है ना, so not those factorials and all, ये सारे concepts है. So again है ना, how many ways you can order 4 objects, 4 objects है A B C D, so there are 4 factorial ways of ordering them, A B C D, A B D C है ना, ऐसा आप करोगे तो 24 such sets can be there. तो अगेन सीक्वेंसिंग एंड ऑल में भी ये सारा यूज़ होता है, परम्यूटेशन. जब हम बाइनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एंड ऑल करेंगे तो सारे कंसेप्ट्स थोड़ा सा हम रिवाइज करेंगे. So we want to select 3 persons from a committee of 10 specific order. So these are the ways, number of ways to select the committee. Okay. So again इसमें again vice chairperson आया, फिर treasurer भी आया. So 6 persons are male and 4 are female. So again है ना, तो a number of ways it can be asked. Just need to understand. Combinations is again a step ahead of permutation. So exact combinations हम भी कर सकते हैं. Fine. This I will share with you. We'll discuss. Try to finish this module 1 today. Other module 1.2 today, because some random numbers and all will require a separate discussion on that. Anyway, so based on these concepts, based on these concepts, there are two theorems actually. One is total probability theorem. Okay, just a moment. Basically there are two concepts. One is total probability theorem and one is Bayes theorem. So Bayes is a scientist who has given this theorem, so it is a step ahead of total probability theorem. Of course it uses total probability theorem for its formation है ना. So for total probability theorem क्या है, when direct calculation of probability is not known, then it is easier to divide an event into smaller parts and calculate their individual probability and take the weighted average of them. So weighted average means what? Some probability may be less, some probability, तो उसको आपको वेट करके लेना है. You cannot है ना, you cannot take simple averages जैसे हम जनरली करते हैं ना. Just simple averages we cannot do. We need to take weighted average. So weighted average, all of you know the concept of weighted average. Anyone can tell me what is weighted average?
Don't know, sir.
वेटेड एवरेज मतलब क्या ना, देखो अभी सिंपल लाइक सपोज आई टेल इन केस ऑफ आवर दिस रिजल्ट्स ना, अपना रिजल्ट लगता है. सो अपने कुछ कोर्सेज को 4 क्रेडिट्स है, कुछ कोर्सेज को 2 क्रेडिट्स या 1 क्रेडिट है. I'll just share this Jamboard. So some courses have 4 credits and some courses will have, or rather suppose theory course है, there is theory course, it will have 4 credits, and there is a practical course, it will have 2 credits या 1 credit. तो ये courses के credits है. फाइन. अगर मुझे इसमें से इस theory में मुझे अगर 3 pointer अगर मुझे 10 में से 5 points मिले, ठीक है, and I have got in the practical I have got 10 points. Fine. So weighted average means what? I will not directly take an average of this. What I will do? 4 into 5. I'll do 4 into 5. Okay. My screen is visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
4
sir.
into 5 plus 2 into 10. 2 into 10 I will do. 4 into 5 plus 2 into 10 I will do. And ultimately what I will do? I will divide this by, I'll divide it by 4, और किससे डिवाइड करेंगे? 4 plus 2 से डिवाइड करेंगे. फाइन. I'll divide this by the total credits which are there. तो 4 plus 2 से डिवाइड करेंगे. Now if you see, this will be 20,
Sir, I think
20 plus 20,
these
this will be
MLAs
40.
and MPs are selected like this, no?
Yes.
MLAs and MPs are selected like this only, no? By the same method. Means where some
नहीं,
at
this
some
is
places
an
the population is different, and at some places the population is less. Then they do this like this proportioning, so that vote. Is it the same concept, sir?
हाँ, ओके, फाइन। सो ये कंसेप्ट है ना, जनरली फॉर रिजल्ट्स एंड ऑल में आप कंसेप्ट देखोगे, इवन है ना, इवन व्हेन यू आर प्रोपोर्शनिंग एंड ऑल कर रहे हो, कंक्रीट का प्रोपोर्शनिंग, मिक्स डिजाइनिंग वगैरह में भी ये सारे कंसेप्ट यूज होता है। तो सिंपली जिसको है ना, तो इट विल नॉट बी, आई विल नॉट गेट, अगर मैं सिंपली अगर एवरेज करता, मेरा एवरेज कितना आता था 5 + 10 7.5 मुझे मिलता था ग्रेड, बट दिस विल बी लोअर बिकॉज नाउ दिस हैज मोर वेट ना, माय थियरी हैज मोर वेट देन प्रैक्टिकल्स। माय थियरी हैज मोर वेट टू प्रैक्टिकल्स, तो मेरे थियरी को 4 वेट है, मेरे प्रैक्टिकल को 2 वेट है सिर्फ। तो इवन दो आई एम गेटिंग 10 पॉइंट्स, तो माय एवरेज वुड हैव बीन 7.5 इस केस में, बट इज नॉट 7.5, इट विल बी व्हाट 20 + 40 डिवाइड बाय 6, दैट इज अराउंड 6.67 हो जाएगा। तो इंस्टेड ऑफ 7 नाउ आई एम गेटिंग 6.7। बात समझ रहे हो? तो मोर वेट इज गिवन टू दिस थियरी, लेसर वेट इज गिवन टू प्रैक्टिकल, ऑल्दो द ग्रेडिंग इज सेम, है ना। जैसे अपने कोर्सेज होते हैं, जैसे अभी ऐसे हमारे अभी सेकेंड ईयर के कोर्सेज है, तो बीडीडी का जो है, बीडीडी में बिल्डिंग डिजाइनिंग एंड ड्राइंग, हम जब अटेंडेंस कैलकुलेशन वगैरह में हम यूज़ करते हैं, तो बीडीडी का सिर्फ 1 आवर का यू कैन से थियरी होता है, और 5 और 3 आवर्स का प्रैक्टिकल सेशन होता है। तो इवन द कंप्यूटेशन ऑफ अटेंडेंस होता है, तो थियरी एंड numerical theory and practical, you cannot just average, you need to have a weighted average of that, you need to have weighted average means what, you should multiply the weight which is given, कितने आवर्स के लिए वो है। तो सिंपली यू कैन नॉट डू ना, मेनी टाइम्स क्या होता था, अभी पहले कैसे करते थे लोग, जस्ट एवरेज लेते थे, थियरी का 30% अटेंडेंस है, प्रैक्टिकल में 100% है, तो सिंपली 100 डिवाइड बाय 100 + 30 डिवाइड बाय 2, तो 65 अटेंडेंस हो गया, एंड दे वुड में, है ना, पीपल स्टूडेंट्स वर एलिजिबल फॉर गिविंग एग्जाम्स। बट प्रॉपरली अगर करना है तो थियरी के लिए ज़्यादा, अगर थियरी सेशंस है तो थियरी शुड बी गिवन मोर वेटेज, प्रैक्टिकल शुड बी गिवन लेसर, लाइकवाइज दिस इज डन, फाइन। So total probability में what, we will divide it into smaller part and then take the average. So b1 b2 to bn mutually exclusive events whose union gives the sample space, इसको क्या बोलते हैं, ओम, ओम या बोले या जो भी क्या बोलेंगे, क्या बोलते हैं इसको, व्हाट इज दिस कॉल्ड, yes, anything, something this is called, fine. So hence the events be considered a partition of this particular event. So now consider event a subset of this event, ठीक है। इवेंट ए देखो, b1 b2 क्या है, ये सबको जब मिलाएंगे ना, द एमलगेमेशन ऑफ दिस b1 b2 b3 b4 to bn will give us the entire set b. Now b is a subset of this entire ओम, है ना, दिस इवेंट ओम का वो पूरा सबसेट है, बराबर। तो b1 b2 is also given ohm, and this a is a subset of this particular event ohm. So this event can be represented as, now a को अगर हमको represent करना है तो a, because a is what, a is a subset of this entire thing ना। so अगर मुझे a define करना है तो a is nothing but, अगर if I divide it into smaller parts, a intersection b, a intersection अगर ohm करना है तो a intersection ohm will be as good as a only, because what, है ना, इसके अंदर जो जो कंटेंट है, ये सपोज दिस इवेंट ओम इज देयर, इसके अंदर जो जो कंटेंट है, दैट ऑल कंटेंट्स आर देयर इन ए, बराबर। सो ए इंटरसेक्शन ओम विल गिव मी व्हाट, ए इंटरसेक्शन b1 यूनियन b2 यूनियन b3, ये सारा का यूनियन जब करके करेंगे तो आई कैन ऑल्सो राइट इज ए यूनियन b1, rather a intersection b1 plus, or rather union, this is what, this is nothing but plus a intersection b2 plus a intersection this event b3, likewise, fine. So since b1 bi are mutually exclusive, and b की जो events है b1 b2 b3 and all, they are mutually exclusive, so probability of a is probability of a intersection b1, likewise we can just add, this means nothing but add, union मतलब addition, fine. So simply we can just write using the conditional probability, because we know इसका हमको ये मालूम है, we know the formula for this intersection का, so it is nothing but conditional probability के terms में, condition that b1 has occurred, condition of probability of a occurring given that the condition b has already occurred divided by probability of b1, likewise इसको सबको हम ऐड करेंगे तो similarly we can just write, we can just summarize this, so k goes from 1 to n, so b, because terms में b1 b2 b3 तो b of k probability of k. So simply because a is there, a is not changing into an a, तो वही रहेगा. Probability that a will occur given that b1 has occurred. Probability that a will occur given that b2 has occurred. So this will occur. This is given. So this is the total probability. जिसका जब concept है तो probability of a occurring is simply given by probability of a under condition that b has occurred and condition and probability of b to be occurred. b में क्या होगा, b1 b2 b3 ये सारा चीज आ जाएगा. Just need to add it. तो अगेन इसमें दो कंसेप्ट है, प्रायर प्रोबेबिलिटी एंड पोस्टीरियर प्रोबेबिलिटी. सो प्रायर प्रोबेबिलिटी इज इनिशियल प्रोबेबिलिटी वैल्यू ओरिजिनली ऑब्टेन्ड बिफोर एनी एडिशनल इन्फॉर्मेशन इज ऑब्टेन्ड. यानी मीन्स व्हाट, something which is initial probability value originally obtained before any information is there. Posterior means what, a probability value that has been revised by using additional information that is later obtained. ठीक है, सिंपल टर्म्स में प्रायर प्रोबेबिलिटी इज एन इनिशियल प्रोबेबिलिटी originally obtained before any initial information is. Prior word itself will give you the meaning of it. Something which is initially obtained before any additional information is there, है ना. Just based on some value I told you to find out the probability. You told me the probability. Posterior is what, I have given you some additional information, है ना. What is the probability of, है ना, of raining given that there are 80% clouds. We will see various examples. इसमें ना बहुत सारे examples है. Normal day-to-day examples here are only there, so you'll enjoy those examples. Fine. So probability of A and probability of B on the condition that AI has occurred will be used to find the probability of A on the condition, or rather है ना, ये reverse में देखो, probability of A is occurring, probability of B that A1 is occurring will be dependent on probability of A1 on the condition that B has occurred. So we'll see how these probabilities work, है ना. दो अलग अलग चीज़ इसमें. B will occur when A has already occurred, and इसमें क्या है, A will occur on condition that B has already occurred. So prior probabilities are what, A1 A2 A3 are prior probabilities. This is posterior probabilities. Fine. तो ठीक है, theoretical है थोड़ा सा. When we'll discuss the examples, you will understand. Fine. So probability of, you see उसका formation कैसा है, formula का you'll just see, you'll understand. Probability of A1 occurring given, or rather AI occurring given that B has occurred is probability of AI into probability of B occurring given that A is occurring divided by probability of B. If you see, they are inverse to each other. ये formula देखो थोड़ा सा बड़ा formula है, but you can remember this simply by देखो ये इसका inverse ये है, इसकी अगर है ना, they are simply inverse of each other, है ना. If you just see here ना, इसमें क्या है, probability A probability B, so B डिनोमिनेटर में है, AI इधर ऊपर आ गया, B और AI इसके ऊपर है, तो simply if you do multiplication they will be inverse of each other and hence it will hold good. Fine. So इसी का अगर expansion करेंगे total probability theorem में, if you use this total probability, if you use this theorem, ये theorem के ये values अगर इसमें डाल देंगे तो the expansion will give us this value, and hence this can be used, this formula can be used to find out various probabilities. Fine. Simple example है, we'll just run through some examples, normal examples. So company sells a certain type of car which it assembles in one of 4 possible locations. तो एक कार वारंटीज का प्रॉब्लम है, ठीक है. So a company is there, it sells a certain type of car which assembles in 4 possible locations. तो उसमें से plant 1 जो है it supplies 20%, plant 2 24%, plant 3 25%, plant 4 31%. Customer buying a car does not know where it has been assembled. Of course है ना, जब हम कार बाय करने जाते हैं तो we do not know which factory it has been made. We just ना, हमको समझो मारुति की कार खरीदनी है या फोर्ड की कार खरीदनी है, we just go, we just research upon it कि what are the features, what are the pros and cons we study, and then based on our budget we purchase it. So we are nowhere concerned कि वो कहाँ manufacture हुई, but it is important from the manufacturer's point of view, because whenever the claims will be raised ना, insurance and all के claims आएंगे, तो he needs to make replacement, so he needs to understand कि कौन सी फैक्ट्री में कहाँ क्या कितने सप्लाई और कहाँ गड़बड़ के चांसेस हैं. Customer buying does not know where the car is assembled, so probability of a purchased car being from each of the 4 plants, simply if you see percent है तो चारों में से होना, just divide by 100 करोगे 0.2 0.4, this should add on to 1, ये जो है ये should add on to 1, ठीक है, this percentage should add on to 100. Fine. Now see, each car carries each new sold car carries a 1 year bumper to bumper वारंटी. मतलब क्या 1 year की वारंटी है. सो वारंटी के ऊपर उन्होंने कुछ स्टडी किया, हिस्टोरिकल डेटा दे हैव स्टडीड से फॉर 5 years 10 years, एंड व्हाट दे हैव फाउंड आउट दैट व्हेन द, है ना, दिस इज अगेन कंडीशनल प्रोबेबिलिटी. इसको समझो, कंडीशनल प्रोबेबिलिटी का वी आर सीइंग द एप्लीकेशंस. दे आर वेरी सिंपल एग्जांपल्स टू अंडरस्टैंड, एंड हेंस है ना, यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. वी विल रिलेट इट टू सिविल इंजीनियरिंग प्रॉब्लम्स लेटर, बट ये सिंपल एग्जांपल्स पहले समझो. तो प्लांट वन क्लेम इज द, है ना, क्लेम इज द, क्लेम हो गया, क्लेम इज, यू कैन से द probability of claim we are finding, है ना. इसको हमको बाद में सबका समेशन करना है. तो if this condition is there, it is manufactured in plant 1, so the probability of claim is 0.5. समझ रहे हो, or rather 0.05. This condition is known. Condition is that the car is manufactured in plant 1. If the car is manufactured in plant 1, the probability of claim is 0.05. Have you understood this? नहीं समझा तो I'll repeat it once more because this is important to understand. Have you understood this, or shall I repeat once more?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll repeat it once more. Fine. देखो, this is a car warranties problem. ठीक है, where there are 4 factories or 4 plants where the car is manufactured. So one you can say a particular plant number 1 manufactures 20% of the total cars, plant 2 manufactures 24, plant 3 25 and plant 4 31. ये टोटल एड ऑन करेंगे तो 100 आएगा, आना ही चाहिए, बिकॉज टोटल उसके अगर 4 प्लांट वो बोल रहा है तो कहीं ना कहीं से तो आएगा ना, कहीं ना कहीं से तो गाड़ी आएगी. एनी वन प्लेस द कार विल बी मैन्युफैक्चर्ड, सो दिस हैज टू बी 4. हाँ, इफ ही इज हाइडिंग समथिंग, ये प्लांट 5 भी है जिसका उसने डेटा नहीं है, दैट विल बी अ डिफरेंट थिंग. देन यू नीड टू add on this value and then you need to make it 100. 80% अगर है तो 100 में से कितना हो गया, that you need to find out. But in this case it is clear cut given that this is 20, this is 24. If you add on, this will be 100. So what we need to find out that what is the probability of claim. तो claim के लिए उन्होंने कुछ studies किया है कि they have found out on historical data, what they have found out that if the car is manufactured in plant 1, the probability of claim is 5%, that is 0.05. यानी क्लेम मतलब कुछ ना कुछ खराबी आ जाएगी उस कार में, ताकि उसके पार्ट्स रिप्लेस करना पड़े या कुछ ना कुछ उसमें गड़बड़ी हो जाएगी, तो विद इन 1 year दे नीड टू रिप्लेस सम पार्ट्स ऑफ द कार और द एंटायर कार. तो दैट मीन्स व्हाट, दैट इज अ क्लेम, है ना. द पर्सन और द कस्टमर इज मेकिंग अ क्लेम मीन्स व्हाट, दैट कस्टमर वांट्स समथिंग टू बी रिप्लेस्ड. फाइन. सो उसका कंडीशन क्या है, if it is manufactured in plant 1, this condition is given, it is manufactured in plant 1, this is a, you can say, posterior probability ना, ये हमको दिया है उसने, this it is manufactured in plant 1, what is the probability that the claim will occur. The claim will occur given that it is manufactured in the plant 1 is 0.05. The claim will occur given that it is manufactured in plant 2 is 0.11. The claim will occur given that it is in plant 3 is 0.03, and the claim will occur given and that is in plant 4 is 0.008. That means what, out of 100 cars manufactured in plant 1, 5% or 5 cars will have claim associated with it in the first year of its, है ना. फर्स्ट ईयर में जब वो खरीदा है कस्टमर ने, तो फर्स्ट ईयर में उसमें कुछ डिफेक्ट हो, 5 cars out of 100 in from plant 1, 11 cars out of 100 in plant 2, 3 cars out of 100 in plant 3, and 4 cars out of 100 in, rather 8 cars out of 100 in plant 4. Fine. So this information is already with us, and now we need to, है ना, we need to have a total claim. So we'll see what the question is, है ना. For example, a car assembled in a plant 1 has probability of 0.05 on receiving a claim on its warranty. As we have discussed, na, 0.05 means 5%. So if it is manufactured in plant 1, 5% chances are there that some defect will be there. ठीक है. Notice that the claims are not independent of assembly location, है ना, because these are 4 conditional properties are unequal. So claims are clearly not independent, means they are not dependent on each other, है ना. Not independent means or not dependent, rather dependent. Not independent means not dependent. Fine. Clearly not independent of each other, that means they are dependent of assembly location, they are dependent ना. देखो इसमें 0.03 है और इसमें 11 है, that means what, प्लांट नंबर 2 में प्रॉब्लम है, प्लांट नंबर 3 में it is working more better ना. So they are dependent, clearly dependent on assembly locations. Fine. So if you want to find the claim, simply what we need to do is we need to, देखो ये कैसे आया क्लेम, 0.05 इधर है, व्हाट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ, सिंपली देखो अभी 0.05 इधर मैन्युफैक्चर हुआ है ना, 0.05 इधर क्लेम है, व्हाट आर द नंबर ऑफ कार्स विच आर मैन्युफैक्चर्ड 20%, सो यू नीड टू मल्टीप्लाई दिस विद 20, है ना, वेटेड एवरेज इसको हम बोलते हैं, so this should be multiplied by 20, so 0.05 into 20 will give us some number, है ना, 0.05 into 20 will give us some number 20%, huh? We'll see. So plant 1 का claim, plant 2 का claim, 0.3 का claim and plant 4 का claim. So 0.05 into 20%, 20% means what, 0.2, so 0.05 into 0.2 will give us this. उसी तरह 0.11 into 0.24, why 0.24, because परसेंट है ना, परसेंट 24%, 24 divided by 100, तो 0.11 into 0.24 will give us this. Point again थर्ड का क्या है, 0.03 into 0.25 will give us this value, है ना, this value just observe 0.03, 25% cars are manufactured, 0.03 into 0.25 will give us this value, and 0.08 into 0.31 will give us this value. तो टोटल क्यूमुलेटिव चांसेस और टोटल क्लेम का प्रोबेबिलिटी कितना है, दे विल बी weighted average or weighted addition of all this, so there is a 6.87% of chances of claim, यानी total अगर irrespective of we see the factory in which it, or plant in which it is manufactured, there is a 6.87% chance of claim. So is this making a sense? Are you understanding this? This is the basic.
Yes sir, yes sir.
हाँ बेसिस है, बिकॉज इसके आगे जब आप बेस थ्योरम एंड ऑल पढ़ोगे तो इसमें है ना, दिस इज द बेस ऑफ इट, इज वेरी सिंपल रहता है ना, इफ यू जस्ट सी इन दिस ट्री डायग्राम दैट विल बी मोर क्लियरर टू यू. तो प्लांट 1 में 20% गाड़ी आ रही है, प्लांट 2 में 24%, 25%, 31%. प्लांट 1 का क्लेम इज 5%, सो ऑफकोर्स क्लेम इज 5%, तो बाकी का क्या नो क्लेम है, तो टोटल एडिशन विल बी 1, सो 0.05% इज क्लेम, सो 0.95 नॉन क्लेम. लाइकवाइज प्लांट 2 का, प्लांट 3 का, प्लांट 4 का. So probability will be what, 0.2 into 0.05, this is 0.001. So claim का probability plant 1 से इतना, no claim का plant 1 से इतना, इसी तरह plant 2, plant 3. So this all addition should be 1, because probability, total probability will always be 1. ठीक है, total probability theorem का concept ये है कि total probability will always be 1. It will not be, it has to be 1. If it is not 1, then there is a problem. कहीं तो कुछ तो आपने इसमें से मिस किया है. ठीक है, फाइन. तो लाइकवाइज सिंपली है ना, सिंपली जस्ट यू कैन जस्ट यूज द फॉर्मूला आल्सो, है ना, 0.2 0.4 ये सब करके हम नाउ. ठीक है, प्रायर प्रोबेबिलिटीज. नाउ दिस स्टेप यू अंडरस्टूड. 0.678 कैसा है, 0.0678. सिंपली व्हाट वी हैव डन, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ए given that rather if this is the claim na, if this is the probability B is claim, so probability of manufactured in plant 1 है ना, इसका हम probability लगेंगे, that is 0.2 because total is 100, and probability of claim given that is manufactured in plant 1. Are you understanding this कि सर के ऊपर से जा रहा है, थोड़ा सा theoretical है, I can understand it, but we have no option है ना. this first module में और third module में we have to go by, ऐसे ही जाना है हमको, इसको थ्योरी की तरह ही हमको समझना है. बस न्यूमेरिकल्स तभी आपको आएगा करने जब आप इसकी यू अंडरस्टैंड द थ्योरी बिहाइंड इट. फाइन.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
समझो इसको, आई विल रिपीट इट वंस अगेन. दिस इज व्हाट प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ, देखो बी मींस व्हाट, क्लेम है ना, बी मींस क्लेम, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ क्लेम वी आर फाइंडिंग है ना, बी का मतलब क्लेम हो गया. सो इंडिविजुअल प्रोबेबिलिटी हम फाइंड करें और बाद में इसको क्यूमुलेट करें. सो probability of B, that probability of claim is what, probability of the car being manufactured in plant 1 multiplied by probability of claim given that it has been manufactured in plant 1. Similarly plant 2, plant 3, plant 4, सबको हम जब करेंगे cumulatively add, you will get this. ठीक है, no claim अगर मैं पूछूं तो simply 1 minus this value will give us the no claim. That means what, 93.13% will be no claim. So simple, you see now we will go a step ahead. प्रायर probabilities हमको ये दिया है, अ क्लेम, अभी देखो ये एक स्टेप आगे जा रहे हैं, पहला क्या पोस्टीरियर प्रोबेबिलिटी में वर्क करें, अभी ये प्रायर प्रोबेबिलिटी दिया है ना, नाउ विल वर्क है ना, रादर विल वर्क ऑन द पोस्टीरियर प्रोबेबिलिटी. सो अ क्लेम इज मेड ऑन द वारंटीज ऑफ दिस कार, हाउ डज दिस चेंज, अभी क्लेम हो गया है, ठीक है, क्लेम किसी ने कर दिया है, somebody has claimed, somebody has claimed that, somebody has claimed means what, the condition is what, ये बी अभी डिनोमिनेटर में है, ये जो बी इधर था ना, ये बी जो न्यूमरेटर में है अभी इधर इस फॉर्मूला में, यू आर सीइंग दिस माय कर्सर, माय कर्सर इज सीन, रादर द एज है ना,
Yes, sir. Yes.
हाँ, तो ये जो बी न्यूमरेटर में है, बिकॉज नाउ हमारा क्या, द प्रायर प्रोबेबिलिटी वाज दिस, नाउ वी आर गिविंग इट, वी आर मेकिंग चेंज, वी आर नाउ seeing it the other way, claim has been made, so claim denominator में आएगा, so claim is made on the warranty of this car, how will it change this probabilities, है ना, claim हो गया, किसी ने claim कर दिया है, somebody has made claim, now what we need to find, what is the probability that it has come from plant number 1, so claim हो गया है ना, तो प्लांट 1 से है उसका कितना प्रोबेबिलिटी, प्लांट 2 से है कितना है, प्लांट 3 से है कितना है, प्लांट 4 से है कितना है, वी नो द टोटल इज व्हाट, टोटल इज 0.6067 जो भी है वो है, ये ठीक है, क्लेम का उतना चांसेस है, लेकिन हमको ये अभी अभी क्या पता चल रहा है, इसका तो प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ क्लेम है ना, ये हम पहले हमने फाइंड किए, अभी हमको क्या पता है, वी नो अ कंडीशन के क्लेम हो गया है, 100% हो गया है, ठीक है, दिस इज व्हाट 6% ना, तो हमको अभी सेकंड कंडीशन में क्या है, 100% द क्लेम हैज बीन मेड, व्हाट वी नीड टू फाइंड आउट कि हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल और विच प्लांट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल, तो in that case simply what we need to do, claim has been done, so claim will come in denominator, so plant, whether plant 1 is responsible, कितना chances है, so of course ये सब चारों का addition करोगे it should be 1, because somebody of these 4 should be responsible, so when you will add this should be 1, so simply what we need to do, probability of claim, or rather claim has done, this is the condition which has occurred, condition probability में हमेशा याद रखो, condition occurred will be in the denominator, ये चीज याद रखो, claim हो गया है, that means what, that condition has occurred, so claim has occurred, what is the probability that the है ना, the plant 1 is responsible for the defect, so claim 1 हो गया है, तो simply plant 1 का probability will, we know 0.2 probability है plant 1 का, claim from plant 1 also we know, it is given in the question only, and we know the total claim कितना है, हमने जो just निकाले हैं इधर 0.0687, right, so these three values, based on that we can get the answer. So some similar questions are asked है ना, जब जनरली दिस इज एन एमई सब्जेक्ट, मास्टर्स का सब्जेक्ट कंस्ट्रक्शन इंजीनियरिंग मैनेजमेंट का, तो सिमिलर क्वेश्चंस आर देयर, है ना, सिविल इंजीनियरिंग रिलेटेड या वर्कर्स रिलेटेड ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं कि है ना, various questions are there, so I'll also share the question papers of those university question papers, so you can get a better feel of the questions how they are answered. But this is simple, if you know the formula, आप डेटा चाहे जो चेंज कर दो, this data whatever you change it doesn't matter ना, if the formula you know, you understand the formula, it is easy for understand, ठीक है, इसको फॉर्मूला को याद करना भी इजी है, तो न्यूमरेटर में है कुछ चीज, इधर जो न्यूमरेटर है वो इधर डिनोमिनेटर में चले जाता है, जो डिनोमिनेटर में न्यूमरेटर में चले जाता है ना, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस, एंड दिस क्लेम विल कम हियर एंड प्लांट विल बी देयर, सो है ना, इट विल बी, है ना, if you want to remember it is not that difficult, ठीक है. So second case is no claim. No claim is simply what, 1 minus the total claim, so simply you can get this 9313. So second case में no claim is made, so what is the probability that no claim, so again plant 1 से no claim हो, plant 2 से no claim हो, so all this you can find out based on the no claim का अपने जो probabilities find out किए, fine. Now another example, ice cream seller का example है, so this is also a very good example. An ice cream seller has to decide whether to order more stock for bank holiday weekend, ठीक है. Now this is true in case of then you can relate it to an RMC mixer or RMC plant where you have very regular deliveries, है ना, अभी रेगुलर डिलीवरीज है, इसका मतलब देखो, एक तो RMC प्लांट्स ऐसे होते हैं which only deliver based on the you can say previous orders कितना है क्या है उस पर डिपेंड है. सब RMC प्लांट्स दे आर है ना, तो दे नीड टू प्रिपेयर देयर रॉ मटेरियल, जो एग्रीगेट सीमेंट वगैरह सब उनको रेडी कंडीशन में रखना है, दे कैन रिलेट इट देयर समवेयर, है ना. तो आइसक्रीम सेलर हैज टू डिसाइड वेदर टू ऑर्डर मोर स्टॉक फॉर बैंक हॉलिडे वीकेंड, तो उसको मोर आइसक्रीम्स मंगाना है कि नहीं, बैंक हॉलीडे है कोई तो उसके वीकेंड के लिए. He estimates that if the weather is sunny, he has 90% chance of selling his stock. Of course, more people will be, है ना, अगर सनी वेदर है तो मोर पीपल विल फील द हीट एंड दे विल हैव अ डिजायर टू हैव दोज आइसक्रीम्स, है ना. तो 90% चांस है कि ही विल सेल ऑल हिज स्टॉक, पूरा का पूरा स्टॉक है. हाँ, यहाँ पे बात है ऑल हिज स्टॉक विल बी सोल्ड, है ना. यहाँ पे नहीं है कि 90% ऑफ स्टॉक है. रिमेंबर दिस, है ना. मेनी टाइम्स वी गेट कंफ्यूज के ही इज सेलिंग 90% ऑफ स्टॉक, ऐसा नहीं है. 90% चांस है कि पूरा का पूरा स्टॉक बिक जाए. यानी इसने, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि 100 आइसक्रीम है उसमें से 90 बिकेगी. ये इसका ये दिस इज नॉट व्हाट इज बीइंग डिस्कस्ड हियर. 100 की 100 आइसक्रीम पूरी बिक जाएगी, उसका 90% चांस है. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस? यस.
Yes, sir.
हाँ.
Yes, sir.
So, there is a 90% chance that he will sell all his stock. Fine. Second condition क्या है? According to the weather for if it is cloudy, his chance is 60%, and अगर बादल है तो 60% है, and if it rains, still there is 20% chance, because some people they enjoy ice cream during rains also. ठीक है, but it is the chances are quite diminished, है ना. Now according to the forecast, देखो अभी दो चीज यहाँ पे मर्ज, दो चीज उस पे now यहाँ पे आ रही है. ठीक है, डिपेंडेंट है ना, समथिंग है ना, these are dependent. What is look, these are three independent cases, है ना. You need to understand what is dependent, what is independent in this case. ठीक है. So according to the weather, because देखो जब बारिश हो गई तो सनी नहीं रहेगा, है ना. बारिश एंड, है ना, रेन्स एंड सन इज इंडिपेंडेंट केसेस. फाइन. So according to the weather forecast, the probability of sunshine is 30%, probability of cloud is 45%, and probability of rain is 25%. What you need to ensure is this should be 100. ये आपको इंश्योर करना है. बस तीन ही केसेस हो सकते हैं, या तो सनी होगा, या तो क्लाउडी होगा, या तो रेनी होगा. ठीक है. We assume that these are all the possible outcomes, that probability must add to be 100. ठीक है. What is the overall probability that the salesman will sell his stock? ठीक है. So with all this backdrop, with all this information, what is the probability that the salesman will sell all his stock? So submitting our expression, है, तो ये जो है, so simply if you see, if this is what this means, that he is selling all his stock, है ना. If you give है ना, if you give this event that he, if you give this event that he sells all his stock, है ना, B is the event that he sells all his stock. So consider that ice cream salesman, है ना. तो व्हाट वी नीड टू फाइंड आउट, वी नीड टू फाइंड पी इंटरसेक्शन ए है हमको फाइंड करना है. कंसीडर द आईएक्समैन सेल्समैन एट द स्टार्ट ऑफ सेक्शन. लेट A1 बी, A1 में इवेंट्स डिफाइंड है. A1 बी द इवेंट दैट इट इज सनी, B बी द इवेंट दैट इज क्लाउडी, A3 बी इट इज रेनी. A1 A2 A3 अगर हम जब क्यूमुलेटिवली देखेंगे तो दिस इज द टोटल, है ना, 0.3 0.5 फॉर 30. ये जो परसेंटेज दिया है सनी, रेनी एंड क्लाउडी का, इसका परसेंटेजेस है. दिस एट आउट टू बी 1. B will be the event that the salesman sells all his stock. So other information हमारे पास क्या है? What does this mean? Anybody can tell me? ये क्या है? What is this ना? A1 denominator में है. This is what selling all his stock ना. A1 is denominator. That A1 is the condition. So what is the condition? Yes, anyone can try.
He will sell all his stock.
हाँ, he will.
Right.
नहीं नहीं. A1 is it is rainy.
Yeah,
It is sunny, it is rainy, जो भी है. It is the condition. B means he will sell all his stock. B means all his stock. Condition is what? It is sunny or it is rainy, जो भी है. तो probability of selling all his stock when it is, this is the condition. ये चीज है ना, this चीज is existing. This is existing means what? It will be, है ना. We are going, है ना, ये forecast हम आज कर, लेकिन we are assuming that we are there tomorrow and we are, it is raining. So the probability of it is the stocks being sold and when it is raining is 0.9, or rather it is sunny is 0.9, when it is cloudy is 0.6, when it is raining it is 0.2. ठीक है. B का मतलब it is selling, he is selling all his stock. These are the conditions. A1 A2 A3 जो डिनोमिनेटर में है और जो इसके बाद है, ये लाइन के बाद है, those are the conditions. Fine. Why the probability, total probability theorem, probability of B or probability of selling all his stock, it will depend on 0.9 into 0.3, मतलब 0.3 is the chances of sunny and 0.9 is the probability of selling when it is sunny This is 0.6 means selling when it is cloudy. This is the probability of the Mausam being cloudy. This is what selling when it is rainy, and this is the probability of the season being rainy. So there is a 0.59% chance, or rather 59% chance of him selling the stock. Similarly, simple example is I have two red pens, one green pen, and one blue pen. I select two pens without replacement. What is the probability that the first pen chosen is red? Yes, anyone can tell? दो रेड पेन है, वन ग्रीन पेन है, एंड वन ब्लू पेन है. सो टोटल चार पेन है, बराबर. टू पेन्स विदाउट रिप्लेसमेंट, यानी आई एम नॉट रिप्लेसिंग द फर्स्ट पेन व्हेन आई एम चोजन. सो व्हाट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट द फर्स्ट पेन चोजन इज रेड? यस, एनीवन?
0.5.
हाँ, 0.5, वेरी करेक्ट, है ना. टू रेड है, दूसरा नॉन रेड. इसको ग्रीन और ब्लू को अगर आपको नॉन रेड बोलने, नॉन रेड बोलो. तो टू आर रेड, टू आर नॉन रेड. सो first pen choosing the first pen to be red, the probability will be what? 0.5. ठीक है. Now this is a bit tricky. What is the probability that the second pen chosen is red? Yes, anyone? It will have two cases. ठीक है. It will have two cases. Two cases में what? Assuming that the condition is occurred and first pen chosen is red. ठीक है. Second condition is what? Assuming that the you can say first pen is chosen and it is non red और green और blue, जो भी उसको बोलो. ठीक है. तो first pen is non red and है ना, second pen is rather first pen is red is one condition, second pen is first pen is non red is another condition. ठीक है. And based on that we need to find the probability. देखो अभी suppose I'll just make it more simpler for you because there are चार ही पेन है तो you can easily, but अगर इसका number of pens बढ़ जाए तो it becomes a bit more tricky, so you need to go by the formula only. यहाँ पे चार ही पेन है तो आपको easily
Sir,
समझ जाएगा.
second case will have two probabilities.
Yes,
Second case will have two probabilities, no?
second case will have
The
two probabilities नहीं, हमको एक
probability
ही
of
probability है ना. We need to add on ना, हमको probabilities add करना है. That's what we are studying ना.
हाँ.
We cannot say they will have two for probabilities. नहीं, we want one single value. ठीक है. At this moment of time we want one single value. Of course two ways होंगे, दो चीजें होंगी इसमें, दो assumptions you need to do. Fine. Now suppose first assumption I do that the pen is red, है ना, first pen chosen is red. तो मेरे पास अभी तीन पेन बचे, बराबर.
correct.
चार पेन है टोटल, समझो. I'll speak in हिंदी because it will be more easier for you to understand. देखो मेरे पास चार पेन है, चार पेन में से suppose I have selected a red pen. तो if I have selected a red pen, now there are three pens left. उसमें से भी रेड ग्रीन ब्लू है ना, जो तीन पेन बचे उसमें भी रेड ग्रीन ब्लू ही है ना. So उसमें probability of selecting is what? 0.33, because I can select either red, either blue, either green. So that is 0.33, given that the first pen chosen is red. Second is what? The first pen chosen is non red. ये तो ग्रीन हो गया तो ब्लू होगा. तो अभी भी मेरे पास सेकंड पेन के लिए क्या है? तीन प्रोबेबिलिटीज है, तीन चीजें बाकी है ना. दो रेड पेन है, एक नॉन रेड पेन है. नाउ द प्रोबेबिलिटी विल बी 0.66 of second choosing the second pen. Are you understanding this or not? Okay, I'll just show you because है ना, otherwise आप नहीं समझे. इसको देखो, you read this, you'll understand it better. For the first pen chosen there are four pens, two are red, so this is clear. ठीक है, इसमें तो कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है. अब इधर देखो, for the second pen we must consider separate cases. ठीक है. Let A be the event first pen is red, A2 be the event first pen is green, A3 be the event that first pen is blue. So probability of A1 is what? 1/2. क्यों 1/2 है? फर्स्ट पेन रेड फाइंड करना है, इज 1/2. फोर पेन्स है, टू आर रेड, टू आर नॉन रेड. सो probability of A1 is 1/2. A2 is equal to 8 because अगर ग्रीन भी है ब्लू भी है, so we have only one green and one blue pen. So total फोर पेन्स में से 1/4 दोनों का probability है. ठीक है. B be the event that the second pen is red. So if the first pen is red, then only one of the remaining three pens is red. बराबर. If the first pen is red, then only one of the, I said ना, पहला पेन रेड हो गया तो बच्चे कितने? तीन पेन, उसमें से एक रेड होगा, एक ग्रीन होगा, एक ब्लू होगा. तो तीन ही रेड रहे, तो तीन ही यू कैन से 1/3 प्रोबेबिलिटी होगी ना. दैट द प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट द सेकंड पेन चोजन इज रेड इज व्हाट? 1/3 because I have only now three pens, उसमें से one red, one blue, one green. On the other hand, if the first pen chosen is green or blue, then two of the remaining pens are red. So probability of B, probability of selecting a red second pen, given that the first pen is red, rather given that the first pen is blue or given that the first pen is green, is 2 by 3. You understood this or should I repeat it once more?
Understood, sir.
अंडरस्टूड सिंपल है ये इतना मतलब कुछ मतलब वेरी सिंपल बिकॉज ओनली 4 पेन्स आर देयर तो फर्स्ट केस में क्या होगा फर्स्ट इज रेड सो द प्रोबेबिलिटी इज 1/3 सेकंड केस में फर्स्ट इज ग्रीन और ब्लू सो प्रोबेबिलिटी विल बी 2/3 बिकॉज वी
2 by
हैव नाउ 2 रेड पेन्स रिमेनिंग 3 पेन्स में से 2 रेड पेन्स होंगे तो 2/3 होगा सो फ्रॉम द टोटल प्रोबेबिलिटी थ्योरम जो हमने स्टडी किया है सो प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ सिलेक्टिंग अ सेकंड पेन विच इज रेड इज प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ रेड पेन सेकंड पेन रेड डिपेंडिंग ऑन दैट ऑन द फर्स्ट कंडीशन दैट इज 1/3 है ना ये कंडीशन पे डिपेंडिंग ऑन द फर्स्ट पेन इज रेड इंटू प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ फर्स्ट पेन बिंग रेड है ना तो 1/3 इंटू हाफ बिकॉज फर्स्ट पेन रेड का प्रोबेबिलिटी हमने इधर निकाले 1/2 सिमिलरली सेकेंड पेन बिंग red given that the first pen is either green or either blue so this will be 2/3 into 1/4 2/3 into 1/4 if you add on all these things ultimately the probability which comes out is 1/2 fine तो हमारा फर्स्ट आंसर है और सेकंड आंसर है दे आर एग्जैक्टली सेम okay but this will not always be the case okay so Bayes theorem okay what we'll do na I think नहीं तो बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा आपको Bayes theorem will discuss it another day fine
Okay, sir.
so tomorrow there is this program ना तो आप लोग रजिस्टर किए वो प्रोग्राम में आईएससी का एक प्रोग्राम है आई
Yes,
शेयर
sir.
हाँ यू
Yes,
रजिस्टर इट
sir.
इज अ गुड प्रोग्राम सो रिसर्च बेस्ड भी है उसमें हाउ टू सिलेक्ट अ गुड रिसर्च टॉपिक और एप्लीकेशन ओरिएंटेड रिसर्च है एंड एक एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप है सो गुड सेशंस है यू कैन जस्ट गो टू द सेशन और ट्यूसडे का मुझे थोड़ा टाइमिंग बता दो बिकॉज ट्यूसडे एज आई एम फ्री यू कैन कंडक्ट है ना थोड़ा डे के टाइम में कैसा वी हैव अ लिटिल मोर टाइम रात शाम में कैसा हो जाता है थोड़ा टाइम का भी कंस्टेंट हो जाता है बाद में so daytime में करना is lecture is a bit better rather than evening times anyway if it is not possible we have to stick to the evening schedule only Saturdays को I'll try to engage lectures on Saturday but कुछ ना कुछ program आ जाता है तो again it becomes है ना we need to reschedule it because last week भी I was the auditor तो मुझे पूरा वो 2-3 दिन I was busy उसके पहले भी कुछ 2-3 Saturdays अपने ऐसे ये हो गए anyway Tuesdays I am free so Tuesdays we can schedule anytime not an issue with me even morning 8 o'clock if you say I can take the lectures at 8 o'clock not an issue only thing you should be ready
Sir,
and
can we let you know by Tuesday on the same day itself? हाँ sir. Hello. Meeting left.